Have a sip of your iced latte. It's really refreshing in this hot weather.
It's nice to be able to sit back, relax, and just breathe for a second after all of that chaos. You're so right. The coffee really is nice and refreshing. It goes down like a treat in this heat.
You've been rushed off your feet lately, haven't you?
I really have. It was really chaotic having everyone gathered in one place, and I found it quite overwhelming.
You should have seen how things were before my brother got married. We used to have way more family events than this.
Oh, really? Are you saying there was a time when there were even bigger, more frequent family gatherings?
My grandma doesn't want to put any pressure on the new additions to the family. I think that's why. So it's been around 5 years since we've had the big, frequent events like before. It was around 5 years ago that my brother married Jessie.
Ah, I see. So they don't want to put any pressure on the new women marrying into the family?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But before that, there were family parties at the drop of a hat. All my sister's kids would have these lavish birthday parties thrown for them, even when they were too young to remember them. We even had parties for when my brothers-in-law got promoted at work.
You're talking as if it's a bad thing to have celebrations and that going to them is a chore. I think it's lovely that your family is always celebrating the little things.
I never said it was bad. It's just a little tough on the women in the family because you guys are the ones who do all the cooking and decorating. Though I guess my sisters don't really mind, since it's their family's events that are being celebrated. You and Jessie are the only outside women in that sense.
I suppose you're right.
Even my younger sister, who makes a big fuss about being independent from the rest of the family, only lives 10 minutes away and still comes to visit often. I just want to live a quiet life for once.
Still, it sounds like fun.
I guess it can be fun at times. But is it really fun for you having to prepare food and decorations for a party for someone else's family? My female friends say that dealing with in-laws is 100 times harder for women than it is for men.
Oh no, I'm actually really jealous of you having a big, noisy family. My parents divorced when I was little, so it's just been me and my mom in our house for pretty much as long as I can remember. And I was often alone because my mom was really busy with work, trying to make sure she had enough money to provide for me. It felt like I spent most of my time sitting at home by myself whilst she drifted in and out occasionally. Waiting for her became my norm. She often had to work over Christmas and Thanksgiving as well. You've never experienced that kind of loneliness, so you couldn't possibly know how it feels to only have the wind as a companion. Even though we ended up being fairly well off financially due to my mom putting in so many hours at work.
I know. Our family had hard times as well.
Why do you keep coughing? Have you caught a cold or something?
There's something that I haven't told you.
What? Don't tell me you have a secret child hidden away somewhere or something like that.
Of course not. Why would you jump to such a wild conclusion like that? It's about Jessie.
What about her?
Well, you know she and my brother have a daughter, right?
Yes, I know.
Well, they've only been married for 5 years, right? Have you never thought that their daughter seems a little too big to be 5 years old? Did you never think it was strange?
I did think it was a little strange, to be honest.
Well, my brother is actually Jessie's second husband, and their daughter is Jessie's daughter from her previous marriage. They got married pretty much straight after her divorce from her first husband, and my brother took in her daughter and raised her as his own. There was probably a little overlap between my brother's relationship with Jessie and her previous relationship, but we try not to talk about that.
Oh, I see. That is a rather unconventional situation. Good on him, though, for stepping up. I'm sure your grandma and your older sisters weren't too happy about that marriage.
On the contrary, my grandma actually pushed for their marriage to happen.
Oh, really? That's unexpected.
You may have noticed that my grandma has a very strong influence on family matters.
Still, I had your family down as quite conservative, so I'm a little taken aback by the whole situation. Though I suppose these days most parents and grandparents can be won over if their children or grandchildren are persistent enough.
You are right about that.
But your brother is quite the catch. He went to an Ivy League university, he has a top job in finance, and his salary is above average. He could have secured himself a very advantageous marriage match indeed. But I guess your family puts love before everything else, which is really beautiful and quite rare in a society where we're surrounded by more conservative people. All of your family can be considered pretty good catches, to be honest.
I really wouldn't say that. My sisters aren't really all that.
How can you talk badly about your sisters like that?
I think my sisters look good because they're always pandering to my grandma and her traditional mindset. But to be honest, they're pretty ordinary. Actually, I would say that my sisters aren't even ordinary. They're just kind of meh.
Ah, okay. I see.
Aren't you going to need to seriously reconsider this marriage? Surely all this gathering is going to end up being too much for you. And having all of your husband's family living nearby must be a little suffocating from time to time.
My mom said exactly the same thing to me. It makes me a little upset that this is how you all think. But on the other hand, if both my family and my friends are saying it, then maybe I should start to rethink things a little. I was hoping you would have something more encouraging to say, since you've been dealing with your in-laws for way longer than I've been dealing with mine.
As you know, my family all have a every man for themselves attitude.
I suppose you do. I've never heard you say you're going to spend a weekend or a holiday with your family before.
Exactly. So when I got married and my husband started dragging me to this family event, to that family event with my in-laws, I found it really exhausting.
You have no idea how lucky you are to have such great in-laws. Do you know how rare it is to have a mother-in-law who even goes out of her way to get laxatives for her daughter-in-law's severe constipation?
Do you have any idea how much it stresses me out when she acts like that?
Is that not a good thing? I think it's really nice of her to have been thinking of you like that.
Well, I think the opposite. For example, imagine someone who grew up in a warm and cheerful family all their life, but after getting married, their partner's family is reserved, doesn't show affection, and doesn't make an effort to connect. That can be really stressful too, and would probably leave the person from the cheerful family feeling like they had done something wrong. Right?
I suppose so. Though I would think that they would feel lonely more than anything.
The situation is exactly the same in reverse. Whether they felt lonely or not, a person's personality is shaped during childhood and isn't something that can be easily changed. I live very freely in a family where everyone fended for themselves. But with my in-laws, it's totally different. They're always making a fuss over me, and although my husband's parents and my sisters-in-law are all very nice, well-meaning people, they can be a little too much at times. I think they should learn to respect my boundaries a little more.
I suppose it can be hard to get along all the time if your energies don't really match. But still, they never do anything to hurt your feelings or anything like that, do they?
The problem is that they're too nice all the time. Sometimes their acts of kindness can be a little invasive, and if I reject them, they get upset about it. I feel like it's normal for in-laws to only talk to each other every so often. That's how it should be. They shouldn't be in each other's faces all the time.
I suppose you're right there.
So you shouldn't be relying so much on your grandmother-in-law, okay? It's best to keep your distance from her and all your in-laws.
Well, it's true that my grandmother-in-law has a bit of a prickly personality, but I think the fact that she gave her blessing for my brother-in-law to marry a divorcee with a child just goes to show how open and forgiving she and the rest of the family are. So I'm choosing to believe in their kindness and openness.
But what does your brother-in-law's marriage have to do with you? Your brother-in-law's divorcee wife being welcomed into the family and your life are two completely separate issues. I think that this whole situation is a ticking time bomb.
What on earth do you mean by that?
I have a feeling that a lot of responsibilities are going to be thrown at you. If you let your guard down and stop thinking they're nice, that's when they'll start taking advantage of you. If they've gone easy on the younger daughter-in-law, I feel like that means there's probably something worse in store for you, as the older daughter-in-law. And didn't you say that your sisters-in-law all live really close by? Surely that means that they go to their mom's house often. So whenever you go to visit your mother-in-law, you will be visiting your sisters-in-law as well. And who do you think they're going to want to clean the mess up afterwards?
I suppose I might end up living like you.
And do you think I'm living a comfortable life right now? I'm sorry to have to say this, but your in-laws aren't exactly the most well-off family in the world, are they? And you said that your sisters-in-law are all in pretty much the same situation, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that they are.
Even if the in-laws are well off, it's still awkward dealing with them. And when everyone is in a similarly modest family situation, the slightly better off couple ends up bearing the brunt of things and everything gets even more complicated.
I suppose that's how it should be, I guess. The sibling with more money should be using their money to help out their other siblings, right?
You're right, it's a lovely idea. But I think it's better if each sibling is considerate of the others and manages things as tactfully as possible. That way you can avoid awkward problems. Anyway, you need to realize that no daughter-in-law ever gets given an easy time by her in-laws. You need to wake up from your delusions. If you live nearby to each other, there's a 95% chance that they are not going to give you a minute's peace. Be prepared for a hard time. You already go through enough at work on the weekdays. The last thing you want is to have to be putting in the effort to please your in-laws over the weekend.
But my brother-in-law's wife seems to have a pretty easy time. It doesn't seem like anybody makes her do anything.
Oh, really? Well, if that is the case, then I suppose there is still hope for you. You don't want them to be interfering with your life too much. Anyway, all this conversation has done is make me more resolved in my conclusion that in-laws bring nothing but trouble. What are you doing, honey?
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm making some arancini.
What are you going to do with this rice?
I'm going to cover it in breadcrumbs. That's how you make arancini, you know?
You're making it from scratch?
Yes, I am making it from scratch.
And why are you making so much?
I'm making some for your sister, her husband, and her kids as well.
For April?
Yes, as it's her birthday on Sunday. Your mom said we were all going to her house to celebrate.
Oh, really? Have they started with the parties again already?
I'm not really sure. All I know is that we're supposed to be going to your mom's this Sunday. I suppose we could have said that we're not going if you really didn't want to go, but I felt bad because I know that things aren't going great for April and her husband at the moment.
Yeah, both of my brothers-in-law are small business owners, so they're still feeling the effects of all the money they lost during COVID. It's a miracle that neither of them went out of business, to be honest.
So that's why I thought it would be nice for us to show up and do something for them.
But that doesn't explain why you're cooking for her now, does it? Today is Friday. Why are you doing it so far ahead of time?
Well, I figured things would be too hectic on the day, so I thought it would be nice to give her something in advance.
Even so, there's no need to go slaving away making something like this from scratch.
Because there's no way the frozen stuff you get at the supermarket could possibly compare to something homemade. Don't you agree? And besides, I remember that April said she really likes arancini, so I think it's worth going to the effort.
But it takes a lot of time and effort. You really don't need to go this far just for my sister and her family. The kids are little anyway, and they won't appreciate the lengths you've gone to in order to make this for them.
I think that if you're going to do something, you may as well do it properly. This is the first party I'm going to be attending since we got married. Even though I went to one whilst we were still engaged, I feel like this is different, more official somehow. I want to make a good impression on your family.
You really don't need to. I'm sure they already love you just as much as I do already.
I just want them to have the best of the best. That's all.
I suppose you are always going out of your way to make sure what I eat is tasty and healthy as well.
Yes. Nutrition is really important, you know? April's kids will be sharing this with her, and I don't want to be giving them stuff from the supermarket with preservatives and other unhealthy things in them.
Thank you so much for being so considerate, honey.
If you're that grateful, would you mind vacuuming the house for me?
Yeah, of course. Anything for you.
Oh, and by the way...
What is it?
It's about Jessie. It's really frustrating that she just sits there and doesn't say anything every time the family gets together. It's like she might as well not be there. She's a total wallflower. Sometimes I walk straight into her because I forget that she's even there.
As far as I know, she's always been like that. I guess she's just a little shy or introverted.
I've literally never heard her talk. Not even once. I'm not even kidding when I tell you that I don't even know what her voice sounds like.
Just leave her be. People are all different. Maybe she's more comfortable with silence. I wouldn't worry too much about it, and I wouldn't try and push her to talk more if that isn't what she wants.
All right, I'm not quite dying yet. I know my time is just around the corner, but it's not like I'm lying on my deathbed this very instant. There's no need to crowd around and ogle me like that as if your priest's here to do the last rites. Oh, come on, Grandma. You love all of the attention, really, don't you? I don't see why you all have to ensconce yourselves in here and make it so you can hardly move without bumping into somebody.
Now, Grandma, stop talking as if you're going to leave us soon. You're going to live to 100. I just know it. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if you turn out to actually be immortal. You're not a vampire, are you?
Honestly, you're really getting on my nerves here. Get out of my face already! And let me tell you, girl, there's nothing worse than living a long life. There's nothing that makes you feel worthless like getting old. Immortality would be a curse rather than a blessing. I'm going to hurry up and die. I'm sure that will be much more comfortable for you all as well. So don't pretend that you want me to cling on for dear life.
You shouldn't talk too much. It's difficult for you.
Hurry up and see if the herbal medicine I have brewed is ready yet. And what are you going to do with that? What do you think I'm going to do? Bathe my feet in it? I'm going to drink it, of course.
But Grandma, you said that you wanted to pass away quickly, didn't you? Then what are you doing taking medicine? If you want to hasten things along, you shouldn't be bothering with the medicine, should you? Let the universe take its natural course and claim you at your true time.
Honestly, I don't know what to do with this girl.
It's really nice to see all of her grandchildren gathering around her. When you're unwell, having everyone come to check on you shows how wonderful family is. This is exactly the big family solidarity I always dreamed of experiencing whilst growing up as an only child. I don't see why we should be making a fuss about Thanksgiving this year when Grandma is bedbound and slowly dying. I think that we should just order some takeout and not bother with the whole turkey dinner thing.
You can't just say that. If we want to buy enough food to feed the whole extended family, it's going to be very expensive.
How expensive can it be?
If you're not going to be paying for it all yourself, you should keep your mouth shut. It really isn't a feasible option at all.
But April, Grandma is really sick. How can we be celebrating?
Well, some things just can't be helped. And besides, it's not like we have to host Thanksgiving here anyway, is it? Don't you agree, Autumn?
Well, yes, I suppose you're right. You can do it anywhere, really.
I like your attitude. I like how you agree with everything I say.
I just think it's nice to have everyone gather together.
Look, June, even Autumn agrees with me. Are you still going to stubbornly oppose it? Autumn is at home full-time at the moment, and so am I. So we can take the lead and get everything done in time.
April, I really think it's about time we stopped being so obsessed with tradition. It probably puts a lot of pressure on Autumn and Jessie as well.
I don't know why you're suddenly so against family celebrations all of a sudden. Do you really hate everyone gathering together and having a good time that much?
But didn't Grandma say that she didn't want us to have any more gatherings?
Well, she's ill, so she doesn't have to participate in them herself.
It's precisely because she's ill that we should listen to her and respect her wishes.
It's not like I'm requesting anything unreasonable. I'm just saying we should continue doing Thanksgiving as always with all the pomp and festivity.
And I'm just saying that it's about time we stop forcing this culture of family gathering together at every opportunity just because it's what we've always done. People don't always enjoy it, you know.
What else is family for? Family is for gathering together, to eat and chat and celebrate together.
I don't know what exactly your idea of the concept of family is, but family doesn't try and force a celebration when an elder relative is sick. And family doesn't try and force the newly married and sister-in-law to take on the burden of all the preparations.
Why are you always acting so high and mighty? Fine, you're not invited to Thanksgiving this year then. I really don't see how it's worth making such a huge fuss over.
You said yourself that you're expecting Autumn to take responsibility. You always said that you didn't want your in-laws bossing you around and you're already on the road to becoming the kind of sister-in-law that you yourself would hate to have.
What did you just say?
I don't know what kind of soap operas you've been watching to get your ideas from, but I really don't understand how you can decide to take on the role of troublesome in-law when even Mom isn't trying anything.
Why is she acting like that? I've never seen such a peculiar sister-in-law before.
Oh, and now I come to think of it, it was basically as if Jessie wasn't here again today.
Autumn! Autumn! I need to know your opinion on this.
Oh, well,
April, even if you ask Autumn for her opinion, what do you think she's going to say in this situation? Do you think she'll be freely able to speak her mind after you've backed her into a corner?
I really don't know what you're talking about. Surely Autumn's opinion should be the most important here, don't you agree?
Just stop talking already. You're not doing her any favors.
Come on, Autumn. Tell us what you think. Why would there be any reason that you would feel uncomfortable sharing your thoughts with us? We're all family here, aren't we?
Hi, June.
Hi, Autumn. Are you all done with work?
Yes, but may I ask why you wanted to meet up with me today? You even went to the trouble to come and meet me right by my office, so I figured it must be something important.
It's not too important.
I feel like it probably is.
Well, it's just that there's something I wanted to talk to you about.
If you like, we can go and get something to eat after finishing this coffee. It's on me.
Oh no, it should be on me since I'm the one who invited you out today. Also, I won't stay out for dinner. I'll just say what I need to say whilst I drink my tea and then we can both head home for dinner. You must be tired after work and I'm sure you don't want to be staying out all night as well.
It's fine.
I don't know why you're laughing. I didn't say anything funny. Is it really such a big deal that I asked you to meet me for coffee today?
It's just that... Oh, never mind. So, what was it you wanted to say to me?
Well, the thing is...
Yes?
I think you should stop making an effort with my family.
Sorry? Did I hear you right? What exactly do you mean by that?
I can see how hard you're trying to go out of your way, you know. I know that you grew up without siblings, and that it was always just you and your mom, and I heard that you like having these big, chaotic family events. But please don't carry on putting as much effort in as you were putting before.
June.
You don't know, do you? That my older sisters don't like you.
They don't like me?
I'm telling you this knowing I'm risking becoming a whistleblower. I don't have any intention of getting married, but if by some chance I do get married one day, I would be quaking in my boots if I had sisters-in-law like my older sisters. And this is why I've come to talk to you today.
Just give me a second to process everything you're saying here.
My sisters are always talking badly about you behind your back.
That can't be true. They're always smiling to my face and they're always so nice to me. Have I done something wrong, June? Is there anything you think I've done wrong? I'm just so taken aback by this.
It's only natural that you would be taken aback.
I've been going out of my way to make sure I do everything right. Have I made some kind of mistake?
Yes, you have made a mistake.
I have. Can you please tell me what it is that I've done wrong? All I've been doing is trying my best to get along with everyone in your family.
And that's exactly where you've slipped up. What sister-in-law or mother-in-law wants to go out of their way to get along well with their daughter-in-law or sister-in-law? Most are likely to see them as a family slave. Probably only 1% of mother-daughter-in-law or sister-sister-in-law relationships actually go well. And the way my sisters have been acting has only proved me right.
Even so, I can't believe that's it. There must be something else. There must be some other kind of mistake I've made. If you think there is, then you can tell me, you know. You said they were even saying bad things about me.
They said that you're too interfering.
I'm too interfering?
Like I said, trying too hard to get along well with everyone is the exact reason why they don't like you. Why are you going to so much effort? Both of my sisters think that you're a pushover and a doormat, you know.
They do?
Yep. They called you both of those things. And they said even more things as well.
Listen.
Look, I know that you might want to shoot the messenger after hearing me say these things, and I know that I shouldn't get caught in the middle. But I thought that you really needed to know what was going on here. They really do think of you as the meddling interference.
I can't believe it.
They said, who does she think she is? Some kind of domestic goddess? It's not like we're that close or that we've known each other for that long or anything. Why does she have to come bragging about her homemade from scratch arancini that she made sure were nutritious for the kids? She could easily have just bought some from the supermarket and they would have tasted the same. That was so unnecessary. She just wanted to show off and look good in front of her husband.
I see. So, that's what they think.
That's all they were saying after you left home that day.
After hearing that they would say those things about me, I'm just so shocked and taken aback that I can't stop my hands from shaking.
I just knew that my sisters were going to be the sisters-in-law from hell. They are the worst-case scenario.
But wouldn't the worst-case scenario be when the in-laws are eager to make life miserable for the daughter-in-law and give her a hard time?
They are doing exactly that. They're just doing it subtly. They don't want you to know that they're intentionally giving you a hard time, so they're hiding behind fake smiles and empty pleasantries, all the while taking everything you're willing to offer without giving anything back in return. And all the while, behind your back, they're laughing at you and insulting you. They want to keep things like this so that you'll fall further and further into the trap of doing everything for them.
I had no idea.
And that's why I'm here today. My family are all pretty much like that, you know. And they may keep their snide comments to themselves for now, but all it would take is one little mistake later down the line to make them blow up on you and start cursing you out to your face. You don't deserve to hear those kinds of things said about you, and certainly not to you. Knowing that they're like that, do you really have any motivation to be good to my family anymore? You're not my family's slave, but at this rate, that's what you're on track to become. If you keep going out of your way to look good in their eyes, they're just going to end up sucking the life out of you.
The only reason I went out of my way to be nice was so that we would all think nice things about each other and then we would all get along.
What's the point in getting on well with your sisters-in-law, who aren't even related to you by blood? What do you gain from them saying nice things about you? You're going to have a baby one day, aren't you? You might have a daughter, right? For the sake of your future daughters, don't keep going down this path.
I really haven't been married for that long. I thought I was doing a great job of building a good relationship with your mom and sisters. I had no idea that this shock was waiting for me around the corner.
Of course, it would be great to have nice sisters-in-law and have a good relationship with them. But ultimately, those kinds of relationships are impossible. Because in-laws are destined to never get along. The best thing you can do, as a daughter-in-law, sister-in-law, and as a woman, is to confidently show them that you're doing well in life. If they're going to say bad things about you, let them. Only then will you be able to get out of this situation with them.
I'm still reeling from all this. You seem to get on well with them just fine, though.
Well, yeah, they're my sisters, so I feel like the relationship dynamic between me and them is very different. But you were raised lovingly and painstakingly by a single mom. It would be an insult to her to know that her precious daughter is being taken advantage of by nasty women like my sisters. And didn't you notice that it was me and you who ended up paying for everything for the Thanksgiving dinner? All my sisters paid for were the vegetables, which are the cheapest things.
You're right. We really did contribute way more to Thanksgiving than they did.
And do you know what they said after you had bought all of that stuff? They said, if she was buying all of that anyway, she might as well have bought the vegetables too. How stingy of her.
I spent hundreds of dollars on making that meal perfect.
So I'm telling you that being the person who is obviously going to step up and do stuff for the family is not necessarily a good thing. These people don't know how to be grateful. They'll just keep seeing how much more they can get out of you.
Then what do you think I should do in this situation, June?
Become invisible.
Become invisible? What do you mean by that?
Just think of Jessie. It always feels like she isn't actually there at any family gatherings, doesn't it?
I found out about this later, but the reason that my brother-in-law's wife, Jessie, never opened her mouth at any family gatherings and tried her best to seem invisible was partly because she was ashamed about being a divorcee with a child, but it was also her way of dealing with our in-laws. Because this was her second marriage, her self-preservation instinct was probably much stronger than mine. I was enlightened on all of this thanks to my husband's younger sister, who is studying feminist theory and is committed to staying single.
Oi,
Life is so cruel, is it not? It seems like just yesterday that she was sat in that armchair berating us all. I can't believe she was taken away from us all of a sudden like that. Well, it's a comfort at least to know that she just slipped away in her sleep.
It is sad and everything, but we can't live in mourning forever. You've been through a lot since you joined the family, Autumn. It's nice that all the men are out fishing today, isn't it, Mom? We don't need to worry about making lunch for them or anything like that.
How can you be blabbering on about how nice things are when we just lost your grandmother?
Do we really have to constantly be depressed because Grandma died?
What's the matter, Autumn? Got a frog in your throat? No, it's just that I have something to say to you all. Well, go on then. Noelle, since Julian and I got married, we have come to have dinner here with you around twice a month. So what? And because everyone in the family lives nearby, there's always some kind of family event being celebrated together. Those kinds of family gatherings also seem to happen around twice a month on average. Our family has always been like that. But you knew that before you married my son, didn't you? Yes, I did know that before I married your son. However, since we always have these events at your house, I think we should choose who does the cooking and decorating, etc. on a rotational basis. Autumn? Yes? You really are cracking me up here. You haven't even been married to my brother for a year yet. Well, the thing is... Sure, there might be different expectations for the eldest daughter-in-law, but why is she speaking up about something the younger sister-in-law, who has been married for 5 years, is quietly handling? Jessie, who has been married to our youngest brother for 5 years now, remains silent. Well, it's true that she isn't in a position to speak up even if she wanted to.
April!
What is it?
Why would you even say something like that? What are you trying to achieve here?
How dare you interrupt me like that? Anyway, the problem here is that Autumn, who hasn't even been married into the family for a year, thinks that she can suddenly start saying whatever she wants. April? Yes, Autumn. Are you not going to let me finish? You didn't even know what I was going to say in the end. Isn't your point that you want to get out of doing any work at family gatherings? No, that's not it at all. Will you please actually listen to me this time? I know that I could never suggest putting a stop to the family events, but I was thinking that maybe we could decide the dates for them in advance, preferably on the weekend. I just thought that it would be better to plan ahead. Also, I was thinking that we could change the venue of the gatherings each time. One day it could be here, another day at each of your houses, and another day at mine or Jessie's house. You do realize that you're crossing a line here, Autumn. And why exactly am I crossing a line? I'm just saying let's not limit ourselves to doing it here, and that we should make use of everyone's houses for these family gatherings. I'm saying that we should share the burden. That way it will feel like it's not always me and Jessie organizing the events. So what you're saying essentially is that if we hold an event at my house, I will be responsible for buying the ingredients for the food and for preparing it? Yes, of course that would be the case. But if you don't want to cook, you could always pay for us to go to a restaurant or order takeout instead. Or we could even make a communal bank account and put aside money each month towards family events. What do you all think about that idea? I can't believe I'm hearing this right now. Like they say, a rolling stone dislodges a settled one. How dare you try to change the family traditions we've maintained so well together all this time? Well, it's just because if I remember rightly, you said that my opinion was important when it comes to family gatherings. I'm just giving my opinion, which you claim to value. And since your dear grandmother has passed away, there have been a lot of expenses for you to contend with the funeral and everything, which means that Jessie and I have been paying everything towards the family gatherings. I don't know what makes you feel like you can act all entitled. What have you done that was such a great contribution to our family, huh? Does it really matter how long I've been in the family or how much of a contribution you think I've made? Honestly, trying to keep up with those kinds of things is exhausting. All I'm saying is that we should all equally share the burden of paying for and organizing family parties. Honestly, I don't really understand any of you. It isn't normal to think of each other as family. You are not each other's family. Will you just be quiet? No, I will not be quiet. We are your family, April, whether you like it or not. Am I not allowed to state my opinion? You are so exhausting. You use the word
Family is an excuse to make Autumn go and slave away in the kitchen, but when it comes to important decisions that require careful discussion, you don't even listen and just talk about the rolling stone dislodging the settled one. If she raises her voice, she becomes the villain in this situation. As someone committed to staying single, this is really stressing me out. I never asked to be caught in the middle of all of this.
Autumn?
Yes, Noelle?
Even if we do host at other people's houses occasionally, that still doesn't mean that the people who aren't hosting won't be needed to help out with this or that. Don't you think it's just better to carry on the way things were and keep holding the family gatherings here at my house? It's not like your sisters-in-law don't help you out, is it?
But whether they help out or not isn't actually the main problem here. Jessie and I are the ones who keep getting forced to take responsibility. And I really don't want to say this, but we also need to take the expenses of everything into account. It's been a little too much to bear since your mother-in-law passed away.
And do you think that your sisters-in-law are not going through a hard time with money right now?
What I'm saying is that I'm sick and tired of having to pay for everything because I'm the in-law to all of you.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no division here. We're all just one big happy family. I don't see any difference between you and Jessie and my real daughters. You're all equals in my mind, so I have no idea what you're getting so upset about.
Even if you say that you think we're the same, that's simply just not the case. This is why I'm saying that I think it would be best for us all to share the burden. This is why I'm saying that we all take it in turns to be the host.
How can you expect us to do that when we're supposed to be comfortable during our own family events?
I think you've been kept comfortable enough all this time.
Will you just stop piping up? You're so annoying.
Mom, can I ask you something?
What is it?
Do you really see everyone as equals? Us, your biological daughters, and both Jessie and Autumn?
Yes, of course I do. There's no such thing as a hierarchy within a family anymore. You need to welcome your sons and daughters-in-law as if they are your very own children.
Mom?
What now?
So if Autumn and Jessie came here and took naps in the middle of preparing food, or spent the whole time on the phone with their friends or took food from the fridge whenever it suited them, would you be happy to just let all that slide?
Well, that's...
But when April and May come over, you always make a huge fuss over them and make sure they always get their favorite foods, don't you? Even though the behavior I just described is what they do, not what Autumn and Jessie do.
What are you even saying?
But if Autumn and Jessie came around and acted like April and May do, you would freak out, wouldn't you?
Well, that's not...
Let's just be honest here, Mom. There's no way that you see your daughters-in-law as your own daughters. And that's okay. But the right thing to do is to treat your daughters as your daughters and treat your daughters-in-law politely, as if they are your guests. That's how most mothers-in-law behave these days. But you're willing to treat your daughters-in-law like slaves whilst your own daughters lounge around doing nothing. I really don't know why everyone in this family is choosing to act like this. Long gone are the days when mothers-in-law could treat their daughters-in-law like slaves.
I have never once treated your sisters-in-law like slaves. All I've done is ask them to help out occasionally with the cooking for family events.
But the way you've been doing it has seemed a little like you've been treating them as slaves. Even today, take a look around at the scene right in front of you. Your daughters are lounging around eating fruit and Jessie is the one who peeled it for them. We really need to step into the 21st century and away from whatever values you're still hung up on.
My suggestion to either rotate hosting family gatherings at each other's homes or dine out was accepted. In the end, we decided to eat out and take turns paying for the meals. What I felt strongly during that conversation was that my youngest sister-in-law's advice to me was absolutely right. In fact, what hurt me the most when she came to talk to me that day in the coffee shop was that my genuine feelings weren't accepted by my in-laws. When I got married to my husband, I expected to be accepted as a member of his family, and I was excited to finally be part of a big family, which is something I didn't experience growing up. I had really believed that the more effort I put in, the more inclined they would be to accept me. But I was terribly wrong. Honey?
Yes, what is it?
Why did you pay for the family dinner out again today?
I got my bonus this month, so I felt that it was only fair that I treated everyone.
Do you realize that this is the 6th time you've paid for everyone's meals since we started doing this? Right?
Well, I'm the most financially well-off out of all my siblings, so it makes sense that I should pay more often. And besides, my brother did pay once.
Well, I suppose you could justify it by saying that you and your brother are the most financially stable ones, and your sister's husbands are struggling with their businesses right now. But I still don't think it's right that your sister should use this as an excuse to take advantage of you.
Please, let's not do this. We had ribs today, so the total only came to around $500. There's no need to make a big fuss over this.
Only $500?
And anyway, these family gatherings only happen once or twice a month.
It doesn't matter whether they happen once a month or once a year. We agreed that we would all take turns paying. So why are you always the only one who pays?
Like I said, I'm the one with the most money. Please stop this now. You're putting me in a bad mood. It's not like I blew all this money drinking with my friends or anything like that. All I've done is treat my family to a few meals out. Is that really so bad? What's gotten into you?
Well, from my point of view, even if there is one sibling who earns more money than the rest, that really isn't an excuse to keep leeching off them. But both of you are the problem here. You're the problem for continuing to pay without complaints and making them think they can get away with pushing the bill on you, and they're the problem for shamelessly sponging free meals off you all the time.
How many times did you say I've been the one to pay again?
This is the 6th time now. Do you need me to tell you again? This is the 6th time!
It's fine. They're my family. They'll pay me back someday in one way or another. My sisters and their husbands are not selfish, freeloading people. I trust that they will have my back in the future when I need it.
Well, I wouldn't be too sure about that. Since I married you and started attending these family gatherings, I've not seen your sisters fork out for a single thing.
Well,
even if you don't want to hear it, I'm going to tell you how it is anyway. Your older sisters can be a little too much at times.
What do you even mean by too much? It's natural for people in difficult financial situations to lean on more well-off family members.
Even so, I really think they're milking it. Your younger sister, who isn't with anyone and therefore doesn't come from a double-income household like your older sisters do, has paid for 2 of these family meals. And it's not just your older sisters and their husbands who she's paying for. It's their kids as well, remember? And she also says that she always pays when she goes out for a coffee with your sisters as well. Don't you think that your older sisters are taking things a bit too far with their freeloading? And do you have any idea how hard it was for me to convince everyone to change the family gatherings into meals out? And do you know why I pushed for it? I pushed for it so that we didn't have to keep paying for all the food for the gatherings and so that Jesse and I didn't have to constantly be slaving away in the kitchen. But we're actually losing more money this way.
If my sisters are happy and they thank me for treating them, then that's good enough for me. And it's not like we used your money, is it? It was my money. So please, just stop this now, okay?
Oh, so you think your sisters actually feel thankful towards you?
I just hate that awkward moment after everyone's finished eating when somebody needs to volunteer to pay. I'd rather just immediately announce that I'm paying and avoid the awkwardness. Isn't it a good thing that the person with the most money is the one to treat everyone? Isn't it a good thing that we are the ones with the most money?
No, it's not a good thing at all in my eyes.
Why have you changed all of a sudden? Before, you were always eager to do more to look good in front of my family. Never satisfied with what you'd already done.
Well, that was then and this is now. You see, it's because I got called interfering and meddling for trying to make a good impression on your family.
What?
They said that I'm a pushover and a doormat. And now you are too by letting them take advantage of your willingness to cover the bill every time we go out together. Listen to me. Spending money on your family like this is pointless and futile. Something that costs $1,000 lasts longer than something that costs $10 because you have to keep replacing it frequently. If you really want to help your family out, why don't you just give them a yearly allowance instead? That way you can regulate what you give them and they can't slip into the take mentality. One thing I've learned from your family is that anything one-sided is never good. There's nothing worse than pouring all of your energy into something only to get completely and utterly rejected.
But still, they're my family.
Honey, do you know how badly I wanted to make a good impression on your family?
Yes, I do know.
But that seems to have offended your sisters rather than pleased them. So I'm not going to bother going out of my way anymore, and you shouldn't either. We shouldn't be doing more than the bare minimum for those people.
But we should at least pay for the food in situations like this.
No, we're spending $500 or more every single time, and they won't even open their wallets to pay for one meal. So give me your card right now.
Honey, can't I just keep it and promise you that I won't use it on them?
No, you can't. Now give it to me right now whilst I'm still asking nicely.
Ugh!
Let go already!
Fine. I give up.
Did he really say this is good for the people who earn the most to be the ones to pay all the time? Because we're always the ones to pay every time we go out with his family, they started to take us paying for granted, and they don't even thank us for it now.
At this rate, you're going to end up spending money even when you run out of it. You'll be too embarrassed to say anything, and you'll just keep paying, because it will have become a habit by that point. I would understand if you were in the six-figure club, but you're not quite on that level.
Right? I really don't understand why he feels the need to keep paying. If I were his siblings and I saw that one of the others kept paying, I would feel bad about it and secretly pay for everyone when nobody was looking or something like that. But my older sisters-in-law would never do something like that, and our situation is just becoming more and more difficult. Again, if it were me, I would feel like I would have paid at least once for the sake of my pride. I wouldn't want to have to keep relying on others.
I guess there's nothing else to do but talk to your youngest sister-in-law, the one who seems to have her head screwed on properly.
About what?
Tell her that you want to make a bank account for all of you to pool money for the family meals out, and try and back your other sisters-in-law into a corner.
Shall I do that?
Hi, Autumn. Are you busy?
No, I'm free right now.
What's all this about wanting to make a bank account to pool money for the family meals? June just called me about it.
Yes, just like I suggested before.
You really have gone too far here.
Could I ask you to tell me exactly why it is that you think I've gone too far?
I was taking note that you didn't look too happy at the last few family meals. But don't you dare say that you're unhappy about your husband spending money on his own family.
April, I don't know how I might have come across to you, but whenever I show even the slightest sign of a displeased expression, I'm immediately criticized. Since I know that I'm going to be criticized anyway, no matter what I do, I think it's as good a timing as ever to suggest making a bank account for the family meals. It's the most rational solution.
Rational? But we're family. We don't need to do things the most rational way.
We're only family when it suits you, aren't we?
You really shouldn't talk like that, you know. You've only been married to my brother for a little over a year, and I know that you're going to be the one building a family with him in the future, but we suffered a lot of economic hardships together as a family when we were children. Therefore, you must understand that now my brother is in a position to treat us all. He wants to be doing it all the time.
Aw, that's so beautiful. Siblings overcoming hardships together. But don't forget that I am your brother's wife. I tried to do my best to make you like me, but then I was worried that you would call me a pushover, or interfering, or meddlesome, so I stopped. I was too afraid of what you might say about me, so that's why my final solution to all of this is to suggest opening the communal bank account.
Who said you were interfering and meddling?
I just felt like that's something you would have thought about me. That's all.
Ugh, someone's been blabbing to her behind my back. Anyway, Autumn, your husband is spending his hard-earned cash on his family, and not on alcohol or other women. Why are you so upset about this? You like spending money on your mom as well, don't you?
Seeing how your family frequently meets up, eats together, and stays in touch with each other, I've decided that I should also keep in reasonable contact with my mom. Sorry, but this is what I decided. So in the end, we made a bank account to pool our money for the family meals out, and we're making sure to split the costs equally from now on. I really did bust a gut trying to get my in-laws to like me, especially as I was very excited to finally be part of a big family with lots of siblings. But then my youngest sister-in-law brought to my attention that all that was doing was getting me talked about behind my back. As she dislikes her family and wanted to trample all over their twisted belief system, I followed all of her advice, and this is where we are now. You could say that she and I have actually become close throughout all of this, funnily enough. I don't meddle, but I also don't do anything that could be criticized. A few days ago, my oldest sister-in-law asked why I had become so passive. I told her again that it felt like I was being too interfering and not receiving any positive feedback, so I thought that it was best to just give up. Nowadays, whenever I attend an event with my in-laws, I just sit quietly in the corner and try my best to blend into the background. I do the bare minimum and that's it. Now I have to see them a little less, and they've stopped calling me to bother me about this or that. Instead, I've left my husband to deal with his own family affairs. I decided that if they weren't going to change, then I would be the one to change. If I was never going to receive any recognition for my efforts, then what was even the point in trying hard in the first place? I decided that I wasn't going to be the daughter-in-law who is nice and polite to all her in-laws because that's what is expected. Instead, I decided to start looking out for myself and not put myself in situations where I was just going to get hurt. I have a motivational poster that I printed out and stuck above my desk so that I can look at it every day. It says, "Live so that you can grow old with no regrets." There are 2 golden rules that I'm planning to adhere to in order to honor this doctrine. 1, I'm going to do the things that I want to do, not the things that other people want to do. 2, I will only say what I need to say, and I'll make sure that I never leave any conversations with lingering frustrations. The reality is that it just takes a single moment for a family to fall apart. But when you say nice things to each other and you actually mean them, then the family bonds will actually become stronger. But if gossip and criticism keep piling up, things will inevitably come to a head someday. Even though you often hear people say that women are good mothers or good wives, sadly you don't hear of good mothers-in-law or good sisters-in-law half as often. I think that just as in-laws have butted heads with each other for centuries in the past, they will continue to do so for centuries in the future. Perhaps it is destiny that in-laws will almost never get along with each other. And no matter what we do, we may never be able to change that fact of reality. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you enjoyed today's video, why not leave us a comment in the comment section down below. See you in the next video!
Hi, Hazel. Hope you're doing well. About that proposal with Mercer Inc., were you able to look it over? If you did, could you please let me know about any changes that you were going to make? I want to make sure that the corresponding documents are correct too.
Hey, Isabella! I'm doing fantastic! What a surprise! I didn't think you would message me here.
You've got me on my personal account, but you're here to talk about work? Yeah. Sorry that I have to do this. I tried looking for you at work, but you were nowhere to be found. The proposal is due soon, so I need a reply very quickly. It's a little urgent, so it can't wait for tomorrow. I thought that this would be the best way to get in touch with you. I was told that you always have your phone in your hand no matter what you do.
I have my phone with me at all times because you can never know when someone needs to contact me. Don't read it as me playing around on it. But I do have a lot of friends. I'm very popular, you know. My friends are messaging me all the time. I like to reply to messages as soon as I get them.
That's good, but may I ask where you are right now? There are a lot of things I want to talk to you about in regards to Mercer. If possible, I would like to see you at your office or mine at the earliest time possible.
Ah, sorry. I guess you haven't heard, but I turned in my letter of resignation a few moments ago.
What? But it's the middle of the workday.
Middle? Not really. There's only 30 minutes left in the day. And well, I have things to do, you see. So I just decided to leave and not wait for 5:30. I already did all the work that I had to do today, so there was no point for me to stick around.
Did you let Alex know about this?
No, I didn't have to tell him because I was hired before him. He might have a high position, but I worked here longer. I don't have to abide by what he says. I follow my own rules. But what would he even have to say? My workload is done. There's nothing to complain about.
Well, that's another one of the reasons why I'm contacting you. There were some mistakes in your work that need to be fixed.
Oh, is that right? You found some mistakes? Well, it's your problem now. You worked under me for this project, so now that I'm gone, everything falls on you. I know that I have a lot of experience, and you might not see why I do the things that I do, but trust me. I know what I did. I know more about how things work. There were no mistakes on my part. You need to become more independent and stop relying on me to do your work for you. Oh, and just for your information, I'm getting married. That's why I quit today.
Whoa! Wow! This is all very sudden. You're getting married?
That's right! I'm not going to be single anymore, unlike some people I know. Oh, don't worry. That comment wasn't directed at you, by the way.
I wasn't worried, but now I kind of am.
You're not going to be single forever. You'll get your turn someday. Might take you years, though. So now you know why I am quitting. I don't have to work anymore. I'm going to be married and we'll be the happiest couple in the world.
I see. Who is the lucky guy that was able to land you?
Oh, it's someone that you know too. But I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm keeping that a secret for a little while longer. Sorry. Anyway, my future husband and I need to go look at potential venues for our ceremony. There's no way I can go back to the office today. Or ever. Do you get it now? I will tell you one thing, though. About the proposal with Mercer. Go bother someone else with it.
I want to, but I can't. You were the one that was in charge of the proposal, and you were the one that made the mistakes. Your valuations were all off. You need to take a look at the data that you used to come up with the valuations and the spreadsheets to see what went wrong. After doing that, they need you to redo the proposal and put another file together. This is your project and only you can work on it. That's why you're the only one that I can contact.
Me? Make a mistake? There's no way I would have done that.
Alex and I took a look at it together. We went over the numbers and it wasn't quite right.
But I already told you, I can't go back to the office. Like I said, I couldn't have made a mistake. Maybe you guys looked at it wrong. I've been doing this for years. My calculations are flawless. If, and this is a big if, the valuations are wrong, then there was a problem with the data that I was given. That's where the problem lies. It isn't with me.
I agree that it could be a possibility that the data was wrong. We want to look at the raw data as well. So could you please send us the files so that we can look it all over?
You can do that yourself. It should all be on my computer.
As per our company policy, due to security issues, we can't accept other people's computers.
I'm giving you the permission to go on my computer. The password is written on a sticky note. It's on my desk somewhere. You can find it very easily.
What? You wrote your password down? We were told that we shouldn't do that. They send out compliance emails once a month about it.
Listen, I was there before the whole compliance thing existed. My way of doing things and my rules supersede what they want new people to do.
I see. I get it now. I'll let Alex know what you said and we'll get on your computer. We don't have much time left.
Me too! There isn't much time until our appointment with the venue staff. If you need to bother me again about all this mess, don't text me anymore. Send an email or something and maybe I'll get back to you.
This mess, you say? It was your work. You did it. Not to mention that this is a big project with a really important company.
Not anymore. My wedding is more important to me now. Priorities change. You'll understand one day. While you're with Alex, could you tell him about the reason why I quit?
Sorry, but I have to decline. Please tell him yourself.
I'll officially tell him tomorrow. Could you at least drop hints today? I have to go now, so bye. Good luck.
Hazel, wait a minute. Isabella, can I talk to you? I need to talk to you about my upcoming nuptials. We went to the venue today and decided to book it right then and there. We even got a date and time. It'll be 4 months from now, on the second Sunday of that month. Do you think you can make it?
Oh, sorry for the late reply. I was doing overtime.
Your wedding?
That's what, the 16th?
That's right.
Got it. Yeah, I'm free.
I'll be sure to be there. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Thank you so much, sis. You're doing overtime again? You're doing that a lot lately.
Don't make me get into it. Someone just decided to quit in the middle of a huge project.
Oh, let me guess. Is it that person that you always complain about?
Yeah.
There were these huge glaring mistakes in her work, so now we're scrambling to make things right. All she did was play on her phone while in the office, from morning until the day was done. She would even sneak off and leave before it was time, too. She never followed any of the rules that the company set. She always claimed that her rules came first. Wow, she sounds like a big problem. Yeah, but today was the last day I had to deal with her. She's quitting because she's getting married. I just need to put up with the extra work now. Well, enough about me. Tell me about the venue. Where is it? It's actually the same place that Mom and Dad had their ceremony. Oh, that place? Isn't it super popular, though? You were able to reserve a spot there? Yeah, I guess we had luck on our side today. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. That reminds me. Sorry that I wasn't able to make it to the family dinner with your fiance's family. It's a little weird that I won't be meeting your future wife until it's closer to the wedding. You proposed to her so soon after the two of you started dating. There was just no time. But I guess that's why they say, when you know, you know. I'm still extremely happy for you and also super excited to meet her. I hope we get along well. I've always wanted a sister. Aw, that's so great of you to say. Yeah, I know how busy you are. There really was no time at all for you to meet her. I didn't think that this would be happening this soon either. Oh, speaking of that dinner, there was a problem at work that time too, right? Yeah, and again with the same woman. She made a mistake with the dates. She wrote the wrong week down. On top of that, she didn't do anything until a few days before the proposal deadline. During the project, she would take days off and give herself long weekends to go on vacations. That's why I had to go into the office even though it was my day off for holidays. She sounds like a walking disaster. But don't worry, this won't happen on the day of your wedding. Tell me a little bit more about your bride. She's older than you, yeah? You found yourself a sugar mama, eh? Just kidding. But she's perfect for you since you're so spoiled. She'll be able to take care of you. What do you mean, spoiled? I can take care of myself, thank you very much. I'll also have you know that I'm very good at my job. You might be, but it's like you're a different person when you're at home. I'm super tired now, so I'm going to sleep soon. But let me know when you've decided when you're gathering all the relatives. I want to at least try and make it to that. You're going to be so busy preparing for the wedding now. Let me know if you need any help. Good luck! I really don't need you to worry about me. You need to find someone soon and settle down yourself too. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for thinking about me, bro.
Hey, Isabella! Just wanted to pop on here and say that it has been a pleasure working with you until now. I'm going to officially be leaving the company tomorrow. You'll be taking my position, so do try to work hard, okay? It's going to be hard to fill my shoes, though, so good luck with that.
Oh, hi, Hazel. I guess you really are getting married. I can't believe that you're leaving so soon.
That's because I was smart. I've used all my paid vacations and leaving earlier than what my contract says. There's so much that I need to do. My fiancé and I have to find a new house and start building our love nest. Moving is going to keep me busy for a while. Oh, and my wedding, too! We still need to plan that and iron out the details. I know that there is still work to be done at the office, but I'm passing all that to you now, Isabella.
I've been shadowing you for some time now, and I've seen how things are done. I'm glad I did that. And I'm not going into the position without any knowledge.
Yeah, whatever. About my wedding, though. You'll be attending, right?
I'm sorry, what? You're inviting me? To your wedding?
Yes, it's here. 4 months from now, on the second Sunday of the month.
There? But that's...
You know about this place, don't you, Isabella? It's very famous and very popular. We heard that it would be hard to book, but miraculously they had an opening for us. It was so perfect.
Wait a second while I get this straight. You're getting married 4 months from now on the second Sunday. At that venue. The one in the picture that you just sent. There's got to be some mistake.
Why would you say that? What's gotten into you?
That was where my parents had their wedding ceremony. I also know someone else that will be having their ceremony there too. 4 months from now,
on the second Sunday of the month.
Oh, yes, that's right. You also dealt with the people from Mercer, right? Do you remember a Mr. Dolan there? You've probably met him before.
He was the person that was in charge of the project on Mercer's side, but he left that position. For some reason, he was taken off the project. I think I only met him once before the new project leader took over. But yes, I am aware of all the past project leaders that our company worked with.
Well, that Mr. Dolan. His name is Tom, by the way. He's my fiancé.
Wait, the project leader change happened half a year ago, right?
Yes, I met him when he came over to our company for a business meeting. I was sitting in on that meeting too.
Well, yes, you were part of that project too.
Yeah, it was the first time that Tom came over to our company. I was sent to get him and guide him to the meeting room. Well, I guess you could say it was love at first sight on his part, because from the moment he laid eyes on me, he couldn't take them off of me. It took some time for everyone to get to that meeting room, so the two of us were alone in there and we started chatting. Before I knew it, sparks were flying between us.
Is that right? You mean you and Mr. Dolan?
Why, yes. Who else? From then on, we went on a few road dates. Then he asked me to marry him, and, well, the rest is history. You might think that dating for half a year is a really short time, but when you meet your soulmate, you just know that you were destined to be together.
Destined?
Well, that is our history, so I want to invite you to our wedding. I would love it so much if you were to celebrate my big day.
Are you really going to marry Tom Dolan?
What a silly question! Oh, I get it now! Did you have a crush on him? I can totally understand why, though. He is so handsome and so good-looking. I should probably apologize then. He chose to marry me. He just has really good taste in women. But don't give up hope, okay? I'm sure that there's someone out there for you, Isabella.
I'm really confused about all this.
Hold on to that. Sorry, but I need to go now. I need to go to my fiancé's house. He's making me dinner from scratch. How romantic! He was worried that I wasn't eating well these days because we are so busy. So he planned the menu and everything himself. Okay, I really have to go now. I'll see you at the wedding. Bye! Hi, Isabella. It's been such a long time. It's my wedding tomorrow. You are coming, right? I didn't see your RSVP. Anyway, I think I'm starting to get cold feet. Can you listen to what I have to say?
Hello, Hazel. Yes, it has been a while since we last spoke to each other. Is something the matter? Did something happen?
I might as well tell you the truth. I caught my fiancé cheating on me with someone else. I thought that he was serious about me and that he could only love me. But I caught him sneaking some simp of a girl over to our house. I've seen him go out with her too. This is definitely cheating, isn't it? Actually, I guess I'd be fine with it if he kept me as his main girl.
I hate to tell you this, but that woman is his real fiancé. This is hard for me to say, but I need to tell you something. My brother's name is Tom Dolan.
What? Your brother? Hold on. This is too much information to get all at once. You have an older brother and his name is Tom Dolan? The same Tom Dolan that I know? And you're also saying that he has a fiancé? A person that isn't me? And that he isn't cheating on me with her, but he is cheating on her with me?
Well, you're partially right at least. My brother will be getting married tomorrow to his fiancé. He said that he never intended to marry you or even go out with you.
What? But we were a couple. We did go out together. I still can't wrap my head around the fact that he is your brother.
Really? Surely you must have realized that we have the same last name. I don't see how you couldn't have come to that conclusion by yourself. That's why Tom was taken off the project on Mercer's end. I didn't think that it would be a good idea for my brother to be involved in a project that I was also on. Sounded like it would be conflict of interest, so he decided to give the position of project leader to someone else.
Dolan is quite a common last name in our company. I know at least 5 other Dolans. I don't pay attention to last names. That would be too hard to remember. People with the same last names work together all the time. It's nothing out of the ordinary. I thought that it would be confusing to have a Dolan on each side, so that was why Tom left the project.
Oh, so that was what you thought. Well, it was an assumption on your part.
It never, not even once, crossed my mind that the two of you could be family.
Well, we are. We've been told ever since we were young that we don't look anything alike. I guess I took after our mother and he took after our father.
You're not just pulling my leg, right? You really are his sister? Tom Dolan's. Tom is a common name too. We could be talking about a different person.
There is no mistake. He's my brother. My brother told me everything about you. He didn't spare any details when he talked about all the troubles that you have caused him.
What do you mean, trouble? What troubles? He's my fiancé. There has been no trouble.
You really need to understand that you aren't my brother's fiancé. There is another woman that claims that title. I haven't met her yet, so I don't know what she looks like. I am a little nervous about meeting her, actually. From what I heard, she's older than my brother and works full-time. I also heard that they met at work. That's all I know about her. When you and my brother said that you booked the same venue at the same time, I was a bit shocked. For a split second, I thought that you really were going to marry my brother.
But it is me! I'm the one that will be marrying your brother.
You're wrong about that.
But we went to look at that venue. We decided on it together. I went to his house many times and cooked him food many times too.
You did that all on your own. You're his stalker. He's gotten so tired of you following him around that he filed a complaint with the police.
Filed a complaint with the police?
Are you sure that you're telling the truth when you said that you're dating my brother?
We went on dates!
Where did you guys go?
He's very busy, so the only time we could was when he was getting off from work. We would go home together. Or we would meet on the way to work. That was the only time that we had to see each other.
That doesn't sound like dates. It sounds like you were following my brother.
No! We would even go to cafes and restaurants together on the way home.
Were you guys sitting at the same table?
I sat at the table behind his. He sat with his back to me, but from his back I could feel his warmth. It was so inviting.
Do you not see the problem from what you just said? Let me keep asking to make sure you see. You also know what car he drives, don't you? He goes on drives on the weekend. Even if there isn't a destination, he would just take the car out for a spin. Have you ever sat in that car with him? Has he ever let you sit in the passenger seat in the front next to him?
No, I can't say that I have.
Looks like it's getting to you. Right. So now, what did he say to you when he supposedly proposed to you? Did you get an engagement ring from him?
I bought the engagement ring myself. I was going to surprise him with it.
You did that? You bought the ring yourself? What about my brother's house? Were you ever invited in? Or did you just break in and let yourself in? That was how you were able to cook for him, right? You went in there without his permission and made dinner even though he never asked you to. You set everything up and waited for him to come home. Was that the night he proposed? Even though you were the one that put the ring on the table?
Yes, that's right. But he was so happy about it. You should have seen him. He was happy.
No, he's allergic to metals.
What? I didn't know that. He has an allergy to metals?
That's right. When he proposed to his girlfriend, he didn't buy her a ring. Instead, they opted for matching watches with leather bands. He had their names embossed in the leather. If you didn't even know about his allergy, how could you be considered his fiancé?
Well, he could have told me that. Why didn't he share that information with me?
He wouldn't need to do that if you're just someone that he does business with. It's not information that you needed to know because it wouldn't have affected work in any way. Do you see now? So tomorrow at the venue, my brother will be marrying his real fiancé. We don't want anything bad to happen on their big day, so we're asking you now, politely, to stay away from my brother tomorrow.
But I'm the bride! I'm the true bride!
That's it. I'm just going to be straightforward with you. You're not a bride. You're not my brother's bride. You are nobody's bride. Not tomorrow. You're just my brother's stalker. You're not his girlfriend. You don't mean anything to him. He doesn't want anything to do with you. So stop it. Stop going over to his house and making him food. Stop following him and then calling that your date with him. What you're doing is called stalking and harassment. It's illegal. He's already filed a complaint against you and talked to the police about it. If you even set 1 foot onto the ground of the venue tomorrow, we'll have you arrested on the spot. Do you get it now? Don't say we didn't warn you.
You mean I can't go near him anymore? You're going to destroy my relationship with Tom?
When will you understand? You never had and never will have a relationship with my brother. Just give up on him already.
But that's what you're doing. You're making me break things off with him. You're forcing us apart. Do you have any idea about all the preparations I've done just for tomorrow? I've been going to the spa every week and getting facials. All the money that I've been saving up to this point, all gone. Spent on spas and treatment to make me beautiful for my wedding day to the man of my dreams. I've already packed my things so that I can move in with him at any time in his new house.
That new house you're talking about. That's the house he's going to live in with his new wife. Not you, by the way.
If I'm not marrying him, then he has to pay. He needs to pay for all the money that I've spent on the treatments and everything else. He owes me a lot of money.
Go ahead, try and bill him. But first, you need to prove that you were going out with him in the first place. There is already a ton of evidence against you, though, which is unfortunate for you. In reality, to prove that something didn't happen is harder to prove than something that did happen. Lucky for us, we have proof to refute your claims. We have proof of your breaking and entering as well as proof that your relationship never existed. And as an extra cherry on top, you harassed my brother's fiancée, didn't you? We have proof that you did that as well. If she really wanted to, she can sue you for harassment.
I gave up everything for him. I even gave up my job to marry him. I was willing to do anything for him.
Your days at the company were limited anyway, even if you didn't quit. Your behavior wasn't sitting well with management. The way you insisted on following your own rules reached the ears of the higher-ups. They weren't happy with your recent performance either. But we will put that aside for now. You were the one that made all this talk about marriage up in your head. It was your decision to quit. I suggest you stop acting so self-centered and walking around like you own everything. That's all the time I have, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't think I'll ever contact you again. So please, don't do anything that you're going to regret later.
Isabella! Please, wait. If you are really Tom's sister, then you can fix all this. You can tell him about me and get him to like me. Tell him that I'll be okay if he cheats. Isabella, I'll be such a good sister to you.
The next day, Hazel did show up at the wedding despite us telling her exactly what would happen if she did. We had asked for a police officer to be present in case she did show up. Just as we said, she was arrested on the spot. We handed over all the evidence of stalking, breaking and entering, and harassment to the police. We had all the evidence we needed to sue her. My brother was able to get some money for all the trouble that she has caused. But the money was nothing compared to his lost sense of security. He was able to gain some of that back when the judge granted him a restraining order. As for Hazel, she went into severe debt trying to pay the compensation that she owed my brother. After all the hearings, she left town and moved back in with her parents who lived in a completely different state on the other side of the country. The last thing I heard about her was that she was looking for a job. It looks like it's finally time for her to face reality. I don't think it agrees with her.
Hey, Lisa! Guess what? My boyfriend just proposed!
Wow, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. You said yes to him, right?
Of course I did! I was so happy I just jumped into his arms as soon as he asked me. We talked about our future and we decided that I'm going to quit my job.
Wait, you're going to stop working?
Yeah, I guess so. He kept telling me that he wanted me to stay at home and look after our family in the future. He said I no longer have to work if I don't want to. My job from now on is to look cute and do all the housework.
I see. Your fiancé must be a very kind person.
He is so kind and a great person in general. On top of all that, he earns so much. He keeps saying that he will earn all of the income for our future family. He is a doctor, by the way.
A doctor? I didn't know that. He must be very smart.
I'm so sorry if it sounds like I'm boasting to you. You got married but didn't end up quitting your job, right? I'm guessing your husband doesn't earn enough money to support you.
What? That's a little personal, isn't it?
I am so lucky that I managed to pick out a man that has great income. I feel so sorry for you because you aren't able to quit your job even after getting married. It must be so depressing at work these days.
It's not depressing at all for me. I like my job, so I'm actually pretty happy every day.
It's okay. You don't have to act so strong and lie to me. Getting married and not being able to quit your job is just very unlucky. You must be deeply regretting marrying your husband.
I don't feel that way at all. Anyway, back to the original conversation. When are you planning to quit work, by the way? It's probably best to tell everyone in advance so they can prepare a replacement for you.
Oh yeah, about that. I'm going to quit today.
Today? No way!
I just sent a message to the company. I told them I'm getting married, so I'm quitting today.
Isn't that a little too sudden? That's going to cause some problems for the rest of the company.
Who cares? I'm sure Kelly will figure something out tomorrow. I'm going to use up my paid holidays starting from tomorrow.
Hold on a minute. Don't you have an important project at work right now? What are you going to do about it?
You're not getting it, Lisa. Why do you think I'm talking to you right now?
Wait, are you for real?
I guess you're starting to understand. I'm asking you to continue with my project and other tasks I had at work. Best of luck!
You can't be serious.
Everything's going to be okay. I actually haven't started on any of my projects at work, so I don't really need to explain anything to you because you'll have to start it all from scratch anyway.
That's ridiculous. I thought the deadlines for your project was coming up.
Yeah, there's only several days left for the deadline, and I haven't started it yet.
No way!
Well, I'm leaving it all to you. Don't worry, I'll make sure to pay you back for all of this. When I have my gorgeous wedding, I'll make sure to invite you to it.
Hey, Lisa. I think I can get out of work early today, so I'll make dinner. What time do you think you'll get out of work today?
I'm so sorry, Tom. I think I'm going to get out pretty late today as well. Don't worry about dinner for me. I think I'll order something at work.
You're doing overtime again? Aren't they overworking you recently?
It's because one of my coworkers quit recently without giving us any notice. I finished all of my own projects, so I should be able to go home, but now I can't. There's just so much work that she left behind without completing.
That's not your fault at all. Shouldn't they just find a replacement or something?
It's all because she quit without giving us time to find a replacement for her. Our boss got really angry and called her to come back to work. Unfortunately, she's blocked all of our contacts, so we couldn't reach her.
That's really terrible.
Now all of the work that she left behind has been passed on to me. That's why I've been really busy recently.
That's just ridiculous. Did the person that quit not think about how her actions would affect the company?
She was the kind of person that only cares about herself. So anyway, I won't be able to come home anytime soon. I think that I'm going to be really busy until the end of this month. I'm really sorry, but I don't think I'll be able to do any housework until next month.
Oh, don't worry about it at all. Let's support each other whenever we can. I'll be happy to do all of the housework for the rest of this month.
Thank you so much.
Well, best of luck with the overtime, but make sure you don't overwork yourself. None of this is your fault anyway, so don't feel too much responsibility.
Thanks. I'll be careful and do my best. Well, I've got to get back to work now. What are you doing here? I don't remember inviting you to my wedding.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Oh, did you really think I was serious when I said I'll pay you back by inviting you to my wedding? That was just a joke, you know. I didn't send you a wedding invite, so I thought you would understand.
Wait, hold on a minute. I don't understand what you're saying. What wedding are you talking about?
You're so funny. Stop trying to pretend you don't know. I saw you walk past a little earlier.
What? No way. You're going to have your wedding here today?
What's with your reaction?
Well, it's because I really didn't know about it.
You don't have to lie to me. I bet you just came to see if you could find a guy to sleep with. I can't believe how unfaithful you are. You have a husband. I didn't think you were that kind of woman.
What did you just say?
I guess you're jealous of me because I got to quit my job. Maybe you can find a rich enough guy here today so you can quit your job too. A lot of my fiancé's friends are doctors too. Try to flirt with one of them and maybe you could have a life a little like mine.
No, it's nothing like that. You're getting everything wrong.
What do you mean? I'm not wrong at all. What other reason could there be for you to be here today?
I'm telling you that I'm not lying at all. Could you give me a minute so I can explain?
I'm still so surprised that someone would have the guts to turn up even without an invitation. I'm so sorry, Lisa, but I don't think I'm going to allow you into my wedding after all. I know how jealous you are of me, but would you be able to leave? Not everyone has the right to get married to a rich doctor. Only attractive girls like me have that privilege.
Okay. Anyway, I have something I need to do here and then I'll be going.
Did you really think that someone like you could find a new husband so easily? You should go and check yourself out in the mirror. Maybe you'll finally realize that someone like you won't be able to find a great man like mine.
You need to stop talking. All you've done is look down on me and you still haven't listened to what I have to say. What is with your attitude? I had to work overtime for over a month because you quit so suddenly.
Don't blame that on me. I quit the company, so I have nothing to do with that whatsoever. You should be blaming this on your husband. If he earned enough, then you wouldn't have to work that crappy job.
What did you just say?
Anyway, just hurry up and get out of my wedding. It's hilarious that you came even though I didn't invite you. There are no seats for you at this wedding.
I told you I am not here for your wedding.
Wait, what?
How many times do I have to tell you? Stop assuming and listen to what I have to say. I would never want to attend your wedding anyway.
Then why the hell are you here? There's no reason for you to be here then.
The only reason I'm here is because my husband asked me to come with him to a party. My husband's father is the medical director at the biggest hospital in the city. It's his 10th year anniversary as the medical director today. He is my father-in-law, so that is why I'm here today.
Wait, what? Your husband is the son of the medical director? And you're the one that got married to him? Oh, wait, what? I still don't get it. Is your husband a doctor as well?
Yes, he's a doctor. I haven't really told that many people about it, though. That's why I was really surprised when you told me that you were getting married to a doctor. I thought that maybe our husbands would know each other as well.
This can't be for real.
What a coincidence that we are here on the same day at the same place. My husband just contacted me. Sorry, Mia, I've got to get going soon. It looks like our party is at the Eastern venue. This entire place is huge. I was completely lost.
What? You're going to the Eastern venue?
Well, anyway, I've got to start heading over. It seems like your husband is really something. Pretty much all of the doctors in the area are attending the party I'm going to. Your husband must have prioritized your wedding over this huge party. I think that is so wonderful of him. He really must care about you.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Of course he did. But how come I never heard anything about this party? He never mentioned anything about it.
Really? Maybe he kept quiet about it so that you wouldn't have to worry.
This is unbelievable. If he had rejected the invite to the medical director's party, would that affect his position at the hospital in the future? For, like, promotions and his salary?
I doubt that not attending a party is going to affect that. Although I don't know anything about how a hospital operates. I'm just a doctor's wife after all. Well, I hope you have a great wedding. I'll do my best to not embarrass my husband. Thanks for the message. I was lost and went to the wrong venue. I'm on my way right now, so could you wait for me at the entrance? I'm glad you're on your way. I was surprised because I couldn't find you anywhere. I got completely lost and ended up at someone's wedding. The funny thing is that it was the wedding of the woman that quit my company a little while ago. She's getting married today at the Western venue. What? That's the person that got married to a doctor, right? Yeah, that's the one. What a coincidence, right? I guess so. But isn't it a little strange? Strange? How come? Well, my father told me that pretty much every single doctor in the area is attending the party today. I mean, there were a few people that declined due to urgent matters, but to have a wedding on the same day at the same venue after declining? That's a pretty bold thing to do.
I think it's just a coincidence. Maybe today was the only day that everyone could attend their wedding?
Still, I think it's so strange that they would choose the venue next to us. All his friends that are doctors are probably attending this party as well. It's kind of disrespectful to my father if he is doing this on purpose.
It is?
I think it's kind of sketchy. Maybe her husband isn't a doctor. Either way, I don't think you should stay in contact with people like that. I'll be waiting for you over here.
Hey, let me come to the party you're at. The party is still going on, right?
What's the matter all of a sudden? I thought you have your wedding today. Isn't the ceremony still going on?
The wedding is canceled for now. I am not going to get married to a guy like that.
What is with you? I thought that you're finally getting married to that doctor you were always boasting about.
What doctor? That guy was lying to me. I am not getting married to a liar like that. I am going to find a real doctor that I can get married to.
What is going on? He wasn't a real doctor?
He was lying to me all this time. He kept telling me that he was a doctor, but in reality, he was just unemployed. He has a medical license, but he didn't have a job at all.
Unemployed?
He graduated medical school and has worked as a doctor in the past. But he quit his job years ago, and currently he is living off his savings. All he does these days is just stay at home playing games. That liar tried to get married to me without telling me any of this.
What a terrible thing to do.
I asked him if he didn't need to attend the medical director's 10th anniversary party. He said he doesn't know anything about it. I found it kind of strange and interrogated him about it. All his lies started to crumble. He hasn't worked a single day in the past few years. That is just unbelievable. Even his parents knew about this all and didn't tell me about it.
I see. It all makes sense now. We were thinking that it was kind of strange you guys were having the wedding on the same day at the same venue.
He told me that he was planning to find a job right after we got married. But I can no longer trust him. I am definitely not going to get married to him right now.
I understand how you feel. Trust is very important in a marriage.
Exactly. That is why I'm going to marry someone else. There are a lot of doctors at the party, right? I'm sure someone would be interested in me. I'm going to head over and find a guy that is worthy of me and marry him.
I don't want you to come over here and cause trouble. We're all enjoying the party over here.
I want to enjoy my wedding too. But now I need a new guy to get married to.
Could you please calm down? Think of all the commotion you're going to cause when you barge in here with your wedding dress. All the doctors here are going to think that you're mentally ill if you start proposing to everybody.
What? You're not going to let me come over there?
If I were you, I would just go ahead with the wedding and believe in your partner. I mean, if he has a medical license, then I'm sure he won't have much trouble finding a job at a hospital.
That's so true. Why didn't I think of that? Lisa, your husband's the son of the medical director, right? I'm sure they can find a job for my husband. Please make sure he gets a good position and a great salary.
Yeah, I don't think that is gonna happen. My husband says he has no plans on helping out the woman who forced me to work overtime for a month because of her inconsiderate actions.
No way! He doesn't really mean that, right?
Unlike your husband, mine is a really kind and caring person. He's actually more angry than me about you forcing all of your work on me. He's right beside me right now, actually.
Wait, that was all a mistake. It just turned out to be a little harsh on you. I was only asking you to take my job since you're someone that I'm close with and trust.
So anyway, we won't be able to help out with finding a job for your husband. We wish him the best of luck.
That's not fair. Please wait. Let's at least stay friends, seeing as we both have a husband that is a doctor.
No, thank you. I don't really want to ever see your face again.
What? Why?
Well, I want to enjoy the party, so goodbye. If you do end up going through with the wedding, then I hope you have a great time. It seems like Mia went ahead with the wedding as her husband promised her that he would find a job as soon as possible. However, Mia's husband struggled to find a job even though he had graduated from medical school with a license. According to my husband, the reason that Mia's husband lost his job was because he caused lots of trouble at the hospital he was working at. He had a very aggressive attitude that forced lots of people to quit their jobs.
On top of that, he would flirt with patients that he thought were cute and had a very bad reputation all around. Apparently, he's actually pretty famous in the medical community. Mia is getting pretty stressed out and is yelling at him every day to hurry up and find a job. From what I've heard, it sounds like it's going to be no easy task. Thanks for watching! If you liked this video, please consider subscribing and pressing the like button.